Here it is. We finally have the Nintendo Switch 2. The red Joy-Con now has the new Game Chat button right below the home button. Overall, I love this new black coating on these Joy-Cons. It's definitely plastic, but feels much more premium than the original Switch. I brought in my Steam Deck to make a comparison because I actually don't own an original Switch anymore, and I have to say, it is quite similar in size. Inside we have our Mario Kart World digital code, which I already scratched off, safety information pamphlet, the HDMI cable, and hidden right below that, the new Joy-Con straps. The Joy-Con release on the Switch 2 is more of a side press out instead of a press down and slide. Overall, the build quality of the Switch feels great. It's unapologetically plastic, but feels good in the hand. I never owned the OLED version of the original Switch, so this is my first time having a full-length stand for the tabletop mode. The original Switch's Joy-Con straps were interchangeable. This time around they are color-coded to its specific Joy-Con. Now the Joy-Con straps have the added function for the Joy-Con's new mouse mode, which we will go more in depth in the full review, so get subscribed. We have our new power brick, which now has a removable USB-C cable, which is always welcomed. Here's the new Joy-Con grip. Lastly, we have the new dock. If we remove the back cover, we have our USB-C plug for power. You've got a standard HDMI 2.0 port and Ethernet built in. On the side, we have two USB-A ports, which I assume are for accessories. Let me know in the comments if this was something they added later in the original Switch's life cycle, but the first thing I noticed was the rubber padding inside the dock. I can imagine this is there in response to the original dock in 2016, which was notorious for scratching screens. I myself remember placing a microfiber cloth in my dock to protect my original Switch. But let's power it on and let's get going. Let's start with handheld mode. First off, while the grips feel better than the original Switch, they still don't quite match the comfort of a Steam Deck. I remember Valve spent years refining their handheld ergonomics, and I've definitely been taking that for granted. Even though the Switch 2 is much slimmer, my hands have been cramping up a lot faster. The thumbsticks are much better than the original Switches, but they're still not full size, and they're not Hall effect either. Hopefully my left Joy-Con doesn't start drifting within the year. I've actually found that using the included Joy-Con grip gives me the most comfort so far. It's larger this time to accommodate the new Joy-Con size, and has that nice color-coded insert system. I like the novelty of the new magnetic Joy-Cons, but there are moments where it feels like I might drop them. Once they're in place, they're not going anywhere. The vibration motors are also surprisingly strong. These are no PlayStation DualSense haptics, but definitely more nuanced than what you get from an Xbox controller. With these larger Joy-Cons, it would have been nice to see them add analog triggers. That being said, if the Joy-Cons had analog triggers and full-size thumbsticks, I think most people would not spend that extra cash on the Pro Controller. I haven't picked up a microSD Express card yet. At the moment, 256 gigs seems okay. I've got 9 games installed, only 2 of them are Nintendo Switch 2 games, and I still have 126 gigs free. Fortnite alone is 38 gigabytes, and titles like Cyberpunk and Split Fiction are more than 65 gigabytes, so I can definitely see myself needing more storage down the road as I install more Nintendo Switch 2 games. The UI is basically unchanged, and honestly, I'm fine with that. It's still snappy, minimal, and very familiar, with new additions for voice chat and virtual game cards. I mean, why fix what isn't broken? Since I no longer have my original Switch, I couldn't do a system transfer. Once I logged into my Nintendo account, almost all my digital purchases carried over seamlessly via virtual game cards. I can't say the same for my save files, unfortunately, but at least the games were there. Load times are much better across the board. One of my favorite games, Mario Tennis Aces, launched almost instantly, and load times are a thing of the past. Skyrim still runs at 30 FPS, but it loads faster than it does on my Steam Deck. Games that I really wanted to try on the Nintendo Switch 2 are Fortnite and Minecraft, games that are not easily accessible on Steam Deck. I'm sure there are ways to make it playable, but here I have them, so I wanted to give it a shot. Subs of the channel will know that I had to give Rocket League a try, and at the moment, the performance is much to be desired. The game still runs at 720p, but hopefully that will get patched. I am excited to see this game run at the full 1080p 120 FPS. If you also just bought a Nintendo Switch 2, check out this Reddit thread that is being updated every day on Switch 1 games performing on the Switch 2. I'll have a link in the description. Weirdly, apps like YouTube won't launch, so I assume Google will need to build a Switch 2 specific version in the future. The 7.9-inch panel is not OLED, but it's very bright and super smooth. So far, Mario Kart World is the only game I own that takes full advantage of the display's 120Hz refresh rate. It seems that Mario Kart World in docked mode is capped at 60 FPS. Other games like Minecraft and Fortnite are also capped at 60, but hopefully updates are on the way. During my initial tests, the device stayed relatively cool, and I never heard the internal fan turn on at all during my handheld sessions. When removing the Switch from the dock, the device can get a little hot to the touch, but nothing major. I'll do a more extensive battery test in the full review, but I do love seeing that the new Switch has a USB-C port on the top and bottom, finally making it possible to charge in tabletop mode. There's one feature I haven't really gotten to test yet, and that's the mouse mode. None of the games I currently own support it, but I'm looking forward to trying it on Fortnite and Drag X Drive once that drops. That game looks like a Rocket League style racer with basketball, and I'm really interested to see how the mouse style aiming feels with the Joy-Cons. If you've already found a game that supports mouse input, let me know in the comments, I'd love to try it out. Overall, the Nintendo Switch 2 feels like what a Switch Pro should have been all along. Nintendo seems to have made an effort to make system transfers from your original Switch seamless, and it's great to see that my original Switch games are playable and can utilize the new performance overhead that the Switch 2 offers. I expect patches to roll out in the next coming months, making more Nintendo Switch 1 games feel fresher on this new device. Only time will tell, but at the moment, I can't see the Nintendo Switch 2 replacing my Steam Deck as my daily handheld. I'm definitely excited for Nintendo's upcoming exclusives, but is it worth that hefty price tag? I'll be working on a full review soon. If there's any specific games you want me to test or features you want covered, drop them in the comment section below. Thanks for watching to the end. I hope you enjoyed my first unboxing on the channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.